ready. Get after it now. Get after it now.
Alright, so I am here at Dover in the Cup Series this time. Going to try to lay down a decent lap here and then talk about the track, then we'll talk about the setup. I have ran a 22.708. I would really like to cut that last 8 thousandths off and say I got in the 22.6s, but I haven't been able to do it yet. But we'll see if I can at least get something in those 22.7 range, and then I'll talk about driving around here and show the setup.
That car ahead of you is pitting. Excellent lap. Good job.
There is my 22.7. I'm going to slow it down here, talk about the track. At both ends of Dover, there is a hump. What you try to do is hit that hump right. And I shouldn't say hit that hump right, but that is a big marker on the track that you drive when you feel it when you drive. And this is about where it's at. And what I am trying to do is that's the mark where about there I'm starting to get off the throttle. I'm also starting to get into the turn a little bit before the hump, but not too much. If you are turning the wheel a lot when you go over that hump, the car is going to get light on you, and it'll tend to get really loose if you're cranking the wheel hard and under throttle going over this hump. So what I try to do is start lifting. I turn just a little bit because I'm getting in as I'm leading up to the hump. I'm hitting the hump, already turned just a little, then I am lifting and I am turning the wheel to try to get the car down here. I don't feel like you have to get right down here at the very edge of the speedway, but I do feel like a lower is definitely better. You don't want to hit the apron because it really messes up the car. The biggest thing about Dover, though, there are two big things to me at Dover. One is stay low coming off the corner. You lose a lot of time if you're not at the bottom of the track coming off the corner. And second is it's not about how deep you drive in the corner, it's about how quick you get back on the gas. So lifting early, or as I call backing up the corner, is a big key. About here is the bump that I am talking about in turn one. So about here I've already got the wheel turned a little bit, and I am lifting as I am coming up to this bump, and I'm trying to get the thing to the bottom, and I'm trying to get back into throttle as soon as it settles. So that's my driving tips for Dover. And again, as you come off of 2, try to stay very low. You don't have to be right down here at the very bottom because it's very easy to hit that apron. That really messes up the car. But if you're going to be high in the middle and get your car back down to the bottom by the time you're exiting. So that's my tips at Dover. To basically sum it up in about 10 seconds, lift a little early so you can get back into throttle early, and make sure you're low coming off the corner. Those are the two most important things to me at Dover. Let's go and talk about this setup here. I fooled around with 2 different setups. I wanted to try a setup that was a higher front end weight and one that was a lower front end weight. The one that was a higher front end weight is in the category marked qualify setup, but it's really not a qualify setup. It's a race setup, but I had 2 slots and that's how I allocated them. This is uncharacteristic of me, but this is what seems to work at Dover. I've got a pretty high front weight and a pretty high wedge. Those are things that will make the car tight. Those are things that will wear out the front tires, okay? That by itself, if you do that in a vacuum and nothing else. To counteract that, I have got pretty high left and right track bars, so that's going to free up the car, whereas the front weight is going to try to tighten it up here, or front weight and wedge. So those are the 2 big things that I think are different about this and what I do most places. The thing is still very stable. I fooled around with a lower front weight setup, and I was just about a 1/10 off of what I was running here, and just could never close the gap. So I decided this is the setup I'm going to go with. They're both very stable, but this is just about a 1/10 quicker. Not a whole lot to say about anything else. The left and right front springs and rear springs are pretty typical of what I run at a lot of tracks. The right spring's a little lighter. but only by 20 pounds. Tire pressures are pretty close to the defaults. I didn't go real crazy with the camber, but I did bump up the left camber a little bit just because that tire doesn't wear that much, and it helps the car turn by increasing that camber. I did use a wheel lock of 10 because I think this is a track where you need a little quicker steering or a little more responsive steering. That also has the effect of making the car feel a little bit looser. So if the car's a little loose on you, you might want to try backing off that wheel lock and kind of retarding the steering a little bit. I ran a 3.55 gear. I think the default is like a 3.82 or something. That's just like you're hitting the rev limiter really easy with that. So I came all the way down to a 3.55. So that is the setup. If you got any questions about it, let me know. I hope you like it. If there's any questions, let me know. If there's any other tracks you want to see, leave that in the comments, and I'll do my best to put a video together for it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everybody that watches the videos. Do me a huge favor, like and subscribe. It would mean a great deal to me. I love to see the subscriber base increase, and I love to see it when people like the video. So good luck. Hope this is a fast setup for you, and everybody have a good night.